This is interesting because I met this fantastic woman at this event last year. I didn't know her beforehand. And LaVon Bauer and her husband Matt, they work with military organizations and military veterans, and they have therapy animals. And they use foster animals and adoptive animals. And Oz, you may have seen walking through tonight, he has a therapy animal. She goes to the VA quite often, to Bay Pines where my dad was. I actually was blessed enough to go with her earlier this year. And we were in the same wing where my dad was. It was an emotional time. And people will ask, how do we find our wishes? How do things happen? And meeting LaVon at this event last year, we started up a friendship. And I want LaVon to tell you about our next wish recipient because it came through her.
Thank you. So, Oz, come. So Oz is a rescue, and he is the face of Paws and Warriors. He's a back leg amputee, and we do pet therapy, going to the VA and do different events with veterans. So we're helping veterans adopt as companions, emotional support, or potential service dogs. And we were blessed to one of our first Paws and Warriors adoptions was with a wonderful veteran, Mr. Bowermaster. And we were really blessed to get to meet him. He fell in love with a dog that he met that was actually walking into a rescue that had been with a foster, and they were really struggling because the dog had a lot of separation anxiety. And he saw that dog, and that's the dog he wanted. And I've had the pleasure of being with Mr. and Mrs. Bowermaster and watching him with Ella. And it's a magical thing. So every adoption that we do has its own magic. So Mr. Bowermaster. So as he's coming up, I do a lot of collaboration with other veteran organizations because if I can't help somebody, I like to let them know where they can get help. And yes, absolutely. And I check in with my pack, as I call them, my veterans that I help adopt. I stay in touch. And one of the times I was checking in, he mentioned that he had some trees down and if I knew of anybody who could help. And I'm like, Maverick. The Denis Foundation, they absolutely, I knew if he couldn't help, he would know who could. And so I called him, made the introduction, and I'll let him explain. But I just like to remind people, along with donating, don't forget to, if you hear of somebody who needs help, tell them to contact Maverick. Even if his foundation can't help, he can let them know where the resources are.
Thank you. My name's Bob Bowermaster, and I did receive a beautiful dog from LaVon and through her organization. My wife's mother's name was Ella. So when they brought Ella out, what do you think happened? Yeah, well, we fell in love with her, and she sleeps with us. She's our baby. I mean, we call her the baby. Very lucky. I'm a Vietnam veteran, and I was shot up a couple times over there and blown up and lost a lung and a lot of things I can't do anymore. And after the hurricane came through, we had some 12 trees down, big trees, a lot of work, things that I just couldn't do. Well, I sat there for closer. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. But so we did what we could. I would just sit in the chair and cut branches, and Michelle would drag them up to the road. And we did that for 4 months. And well, you could see we got the leaves out of there anyway. And but we didn't know what to do. The neighbors were all complaining. It was just a big mess. And I thought, well, I'll call LaVon. She's with organizations that know veterans organizations, and it wasn't very long, and Maverick called me and said we'd like to come out and see what's got to be done. And they ended up coming out twice and cleaning. I don't know how many truckloads and trailer loads of tree debris they took away, but it was a lot, and we just couldn't have done it. And we couldn't have done it without you folks. I mean, I would have still been out there cutting trees. And I thank you all so very much. And I thank Mavericks Foundation. It's just absolutely fabulous, the Dennis V. Cooper Foundation. And any help you can give, it's surely appreciated. Thank you.